Hello everybody, I'm Saul Ordóñez and today we're going to review together a topic which is there is and there are. So we're going to start. When do we use there is and there are? We use there is and there are to say if something exists. Also we use to state about a person or thing. So we have here some examples, and there is a bookstore next to electronics store. We have another example that is there are 4 cars on the garage. The first sentence is related or is in the context to state about a person or thing. And the second one, there are 4 cars on the garage, is in the context that to say if something exists. So you have to remember this, that there is only used with singular nouns. For example, a cat, an apple, but it's only to say that it's only one person or thing. And there are is only used for plural nouns. For example, we have there is a cat. We mean that it's only one cat, no more, just one. And there are some cats. It means that there are 2 or more cats, even 100 cats, but there are more than two cats. We're going to continue with contractions, and we use contractions to say it or to talk more natural, and we use contractions in speaking in informal situations. So we're going to start with positive contractions, and there is can be contracted as there's. But what happens with there are? There are doesn't have a contraction, so you have to remember that there are is only there are, no have, doesn't have contractions. In the negative form is there is not can be contracted as there isn't, and here we can contract there are not as there aren't. So we have to continue in positive sentences. The structure. There plus be, in this case could be is or are, plus subject, a noun, plus complement, place or time. When or where does it exist? And plus that. You have to remember that you have to put the that at the final of the or at the end of the sentence, because if you don't put that, it's an incomplete sentence. So I have here more examples. There is a restaurant on this mall. It's in the contracted form is there's a restaurant on this mall. So we have here there. Be is a subject, a restaurant. Complement, in this case a complement, place on this mall, and plus that. And an example with there are 2 restaurants near the park. We're going to continue now with negative sentences, and we use there isn't and there aren't to say if something doesn't exist. So what's the structure? There plus be not, in this case isn't or aren't, plus subject plus complement, and plus that. We have here some examples. There is not a restaurant on this mall. Here we have the structure. There plus be not, is not, plus subject, a restaurant, plus complement on this mall, and plus that. Here, there plus be not, aren't, plus subject, 2 restaurants, and the complement near the park. So in the contracted form, it could be there isn't a restaurant on this mall, and there aren't 2 restaurants near the park. Here we have some grammar notes that you have to remember. We can make negative sentences using there is and there are not. So these examples could be: there is no a restaurant on this mall. There are no two restaurants near the park could be: there are no restaurants near the park. And another grammar note is that in the negative use the contractions isn't and aren't, because the full forms is not and are not are rarely used with there. So you have to remember this. Then we continue with yes no questions. And we use there is and there are in questions to ask if something exists. So the structure is like a positive sentence, but we change be and there. So now there comes after be. Be could be is or are plus there plus subject plus complement and plus question mark. You have to remember to put the question mark at the end of the sentence, the statement, to form a question, because if you don't put a question mark, it's like a normal sentence. So I have here some examples. Is there a restaurant on this level? When you are speaking, you have to put the correct intonation, and you increase your tone at the end of the question. So we have, is there a restaurant on this level? Are there two restaurants near the park? So we have here more grammar notes, and we often use any with yes no questions. About plural nouns, it usually goes before there. Are there any banks here? Or in this case, are there any restaurants near the park? Another grammar note is that we often answer yes no questions with short answers. So, is there a restaurant on this level? An affirmative possible answer could be yes there is, or negative, no there aren't. Are there two restaurants near the park? Yes there are, no there aren't. So we have here more grammar notes that you have to remember, and you have to be careful. Don't confuse there are with they are, and there aren't with they aren't. For example, there are 3 girls in the dress store. They are choosing dresses for a party. Another grammar note is here and are. There are adverbs or place. Here is for something nearby, and there is for something far. So, an example is, last summer we changed homes with friends nearby. We went there, and they came here. That's all, my dears, and I wish you could understand better this topic. And I have a quotation that I like so much, and I want to share with you. It's, there is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. That's all. Thanks for your attention.